Hey, what's up, and welcome to Movie Dumpster Season 5, Episode 10. Today we're talking about Blue Monkey from 1987, directed by William Fruitt. I'm Joe Lascola.
And I'm Sean O'Rourke.
Welcome to the Dumpster.
So, Joe.
Yeah.
Aliens. Alien? Huh?
Well, we're gonna fucking get into it, all right?
For the audio listeners, I'm wearing an alien shirt.
Yes, with the chest burster on it. It's very nice. Is that a cavity color shirt?
CavityColors.com. Email us, moviedumpsterpodcast@gmail. We'd love to work with you. I'm going to say it every time.
Affiliate? Maybe. Let's see.
Yeah, we'd love it. Anyway, I just want to get that out of my system. We'll talk a little bit more why that is the case.
We're going to talk about aliens.
Yeah.
We'll talk because we're going to do some, the behind the scenes shit and all that stuff.
The BTS, Johnny.
The BTS. Again, not the Korean boy band. Anyway. So this movie, Blue Monkey, have you ever heard of this before?
I had not. Now, when the Blu-ray was announced, I saw you and I think somebody else on Twitter talking back and forth, and I was like, okay, Blue Monkey, what the fuck's that about? Is this like Monkey Shines?
Me and the 5 people who were excited for this to come out on Blu-ray. This is another one of those Train Guy VHS tapes.
Okay.
That I got.
Oh!
Yeah, the Train Guy.
Like that you were talking about, I think, on Killer Clowns.
I think it was Killer Clowns.
Or Talks episode, maybe both.
I think it was Killer Clowns,
Yeah.
but where, I would go with Chris Barr, and we'd go down to Chris Barr from Talks from the Dark Side. Go check it out. We would go down to Route 35 and go to this Train Guy, and he had a bunch of tapes. And this was another one of those things where I think the first time I heard about this movie was on badmovies.org.
Oh, okay.
From Andrew Borntrager. I think it's still a website. That website's been up so long that I remember being in. We just got the internet, and
so like 97,
so
maybe?
like 96 or 97.
Okay.
That fucking website's been kicking arodd. It's got to be because or a couple years after that.
Yeah, definitely dial up.
I think I was in like 6th or 7th grade.
Okay.
When badmovies.org started. But that's actually how I got my Street Trash VHS.
Oh.
I traded Andrew Borntrager my Night of the Demons unrated tape for his Street Trash. So that lightning tape is his. Well,
that's a pretty even trade. I mean, I love both movies for different reasons, but hey, you can't beat a Street Trash VHS tape.
Oh, for sure. It was just kind of cool because it was the community. It was the first community that I was kind of a part of.
Yeah.
With the message board and the what was that film and all these terrible films. Well, terrible films that I grew up with.
Well, what does Mr. Lobo say? They're not bad movies. They're just misunderstood.
They're just misunderstood. Yeah. Shh, you don't want to get sued. He's gonna. Yeah. Sorry about that, Lobo. They're not bad movies. They're just misunderstood. TM. There we go.
There you go. Okay, now we're in the clear.
Okay, but yeah. So Blue Monkey was on there, and I forgot all about it. Like I watched. I found it on badmovies.org. Read the review that Andrew did, and just was like, "Holy shit, that looks crazy!" And it's just a weird name. The title itself is intriguing enough to be like, "What the fuck is Blue Monkey?" Right?
I'll agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. So years later, we go to I'm at the Train Guy. I'm going through all the tapes. Boom! I found Blue Monkey. Pick it up, bring it home. Never saw it before. I don't think there was a rip that I had seen or it wasn't available at any store to rent, and I hadn't seen it on television. So I fired this up, and man, I fell in love with this movie because it's exactly my brand of movie.
Yeah, I could see it. I could totally see that.
Rubber monster movie. I would say elevated, though. I would say,
yeah.
I would say this is an elevated monster movie for sure, especially for the time and what we're doing in this movie exactly, and when it came out.
I would agree.
Anyway, I really like this movie a lot, and I even have the fucking video poster in there. So I guess do you want to? I was gonna wait to talk about the Blu-ray, but do you want to talk about that first, and then we'll talk about the behind the scenes stuff of like the actual film?
Yeah. Well, tell me about this Blu-ray because the transfer on this is incredible. And I do want to mention briefly, I usually don't like to talk about these things because I don't want to out myself as a pirate.
Yarr, how you doing there, Johnny boy?
Do what you want. I'm not trying to go on like a high horse here or anything, but I tried to watch this movie on Daily Motion.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Save your brain cells, because literally there's an ad every fucking 12 seconds that has sound, and it's like worse than VHS quality.
Yeah.
I gotta get the Blu-ray of this, and you'll find out why I want to get the Blu-ray of this, but lay on me what this is all about, please.
Well, real quick to your point, I feel like I kind of grew up having bootlegs and or rips of movies because they were so fucking hard to find.
Well, that is true, especially like from like horror movie conventions. You could always
go to
them up for cheap.
You go to the horror movie conventions, you get that old TV show. You know, for years, Tales from the Dark Side and Monsters were at that convention, and you can only get them there. You know what I mean? They weren't released on disc or anything like that. So and then later after that, there still were movies that were only on tape, and those tapes were like hard to find or expensive or whatever. And it's like, well, how the fuck do I watch this? It's like, well, some guy uploaded the fucking VHS rip to YouTube or Demonoid or some shit.
Like I mentioned on the Theodore Rex episode, I mean, if you really want to, someone has the whole monster vision of the movie on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's not great quality, but it's there, and you get the Joe Bob insight, which is kind of fun.
Which is the best part of probably watching those rips. And you won't find them anywhere else. And like I feel like it's in a horror fan's DNA to have that VHS dub or that disc dub or that rip off line or whatever of some other shitty rip. You know what I mean?
No, 100%.
You know what I mean? And trade them and show your friends them and stuff like that. I mean that was a big thing with like John Saltarelli, like John Lee used to do that with, and Chris Barr too. Chris Barr has introduced me to like a ton of shit via that way, and we've found things that way. So coming to Blue Monkey. Now, clearly it's on tape, and we were actually going to cover this.
Regardless,
we were supposed to cover this 2 years ago when COVID hit.
Sure.
Okay. So I don't know if you remember this. I was talking to Sean.
I absolutely remember it. Yes, I remember this very distinctly.
Sean doesn't remember this.
I have a creep memory, but I do not remember this at all.
So behind the scenes, we were working on trying, because I found out somebody was releasing the Blue Monkey Blu-ray. Now, they're called Dark Force Entertainment.
That name does sound familiar, so maybe this might come back to me.
And
continue.
I got wind of them doing the restoration for this film. And they had done some other releases. I can't remember exactly which one, but I think they're putting out Hard Rock Nightmare right now. Apparently, I went to go pre-order it on the website, but I did not see it. So we were going to have the owner of Dark Force Entertainment on to do, an interview about putting the disc together and kind of restoring the film and releasing it and stuff. And it was like a 2-for-1 because it was like, cool, let's cover Blue Monkey because it's fucking awesome. And it's getting a fucking proper Blu-ray release. And we can bring, the indie label guy who owns the label to talk about it.
Triple whammy kind of situation.
Triple whammy. It would have been neat. So, let me give you a little history on this before I tell you what happened.
Okay.
So I reached out to them in 2020 and to promote the disc and do the interview, like I said. Now, apparently this came out in April of 2020. I pre-ordered this on Amazon because I guess they had a deal with them. They were going to put it through there. I didn't get it through their website. I got it through Amazon because the pre-order was there. So I pre-ordered it. The pre-order never came. It was canceled. But apparently it was released in April 2020. Now, there were discs that were sold and distributed through Dark Force Entertainment in conjunction with Code Red. So this movie's also this disc label. It says
Code Red.
It says Code Red right on it. And Code Red is like an old standby that's been around for a long time.
You've mentioned it many times.
Yeah, they brought a lot of shit to DVD that for the first time, years ago. So they join up with Dark Force Entertainment, I guess, or it's the same guy. I don't really know exactly, or they're partners with them, what have you. They put the disc out. Now, I didn't see it on Code Red site. I didn't see it when it was for sale on the Dark Force Entertainment site, but they release it and some people buy it. And it was really cool because it came with the alternate title for this film is called Insect, by the way.
Right, which you actually do see in the opening credits of the Blu-ray.
Yeah, and like that, this is the alternate artwork. I hope you can see that.
Wow,
like this is
cool.
And it's fucking cool, man. And it's called, Insect.
I guess I understand, like, I kind of like that name, but I also do agree with you that Blue Monkey is a little bit more striking, more memorable.
We're also going to talk about why it's called Blue Monkey.
Oh, okay.
So,
it's a line in the movie, Joe.
And then this is, the theatrical poster. And then my personal favorite is the one I grew up with is the VHS box art with the actual bug on it and these nurses like running away from it.
That's pretty good.
It's fucking cool. And this is the poster I have, the Columbia RCA video poster. So Code Red releases it. And, so the original poster was on the sleeve and it was glow in the dark. It was really fucking cool, man. It was limited edition and all that kind of stuff. So it ends up getting pulled from the website because I guess there was a distro problem and some kind of rights issue, because then it was only available to be sold in Canada and you could not get it in the States anymore. They sold X amount and then pulled it and then sold it in Canada. So now I totally forget about it. I totally forget my fucking Amazon pre-order, gets canceled or whatever. And then we just get caught up in doing the show and other shit and other movies and stuff like that. And it just kind of falls to the wayside. Dude never reaches back out. I never reach back out to him, what have you. I was looking at old pictures of the Home Video Express thing that I used to do, the DVD company that's you can listen to that on the Metal Beast episode, and I mentioned this on that episode. But my buddy Matt Desiderio from Horror Boobs was like, "Oh, is there still any movies that you guys put out that aren't officially released yet?" And I was like, "Shit, is there?" So I was going back because we released like cards with like all the posters and stuff that we had released, like a collectible card that you can check off, like a checklist.
Oh, that's cool.
So I went back, I was like, oh, fucking Blue Monkey, that's right. And that kind of like sparked it again. And I was like, did that ever come out on Blu-ray? So I looked it up and I didn't see it on Amazon, but I found it on the Kino Lorber website.
Okay.
So now there's no mention of Dark Force Entertainment. There is mention of Code Red. So then I'm thinking like, okay, did Kino buy the rights to the Code Red disc for distribution or the film distribution or what? I don't know what exactly. Anyway, I bought it from Kino Lorber. So yeah, so that's how I found the disc again. and that's pretty much the story of that. And, Dark Force Entertainment is still going strong. Like I said, they got that Hard Rock Nightmare, not Rock and Roll Nightmare. It's a different movie.
Yeah, okay.
It's not Hard Rock Zombies either. It's Hard Rock Nightmare. So they're supposed to be releasing that. And again, like I said, I'll pick it up when I see it. It was supposed to go on pre-order. I didn't see it yet. But again, they got the cool thing with like glow in the dark cover and shit. So that's the deal with the Blu-ray release of this film. So I guess we can go into the behind the scenes shit now.
Okay.
If you'd like to get into it.
Yeah.
So this film, Blue Monkey, is directed by William Fruitt. He's done a shit ton of great films. He's done A House by the Lake, Funeral Home, Spasms that I've been talking
Peter
about.
Fonda, I saw
with Peter
that.
Fonda and Oliver Reed.
Oh.
Oliver Reed bare knuckle fights a fucking giant snake, devil snake.
Sign me up.
We talked about doing it before. I definitely want to get to it for sure because it's a good flick. I really like it a lot.
Okay. He apparently did 27 episodes of Goosebumps, I read.
Yeah, which is not, good for you. I mean, maybe why that show was so good as a kid.
Yeah, I also saw, I didn't even know this thing existed, but he did 6 episodes of the Poltergeist TV show.
Poltergeist, The Legacy.
What the fuck is that?
Oh, it's the Poltergeist series.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think that one came out. My mom used to watch it all the time on fucking Sci-Fi Channel, dude. Like Poltergeist, The Legacy.
I didn't do any research on that, but I was like, oh, I love Poltergeist. How do I not know about this?
I don't quote me on this, but I think it's in the same vein as like the Friday the 13th series where they deal with ghostly type things, but it's not necessarily tied to the Poltergeist movies. I don't know.
Okay.
I could be wrong. I haven't fucking seen it in forever. I forgot it existed until I read the credit and I was like, holy shit, that's right. Poltergeist, The Legacy.
No, fair.
He also did Killer Party too, which is a really good movie that we should check out.
What's the short on that one?
Killer Party.
Oh, okay. Is it like Mad Monster Party?
No, it's like murderers
party.
Yeah, it's like a slasher.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He also did episodes of Animorphs too, if you give a shit about that.
Sure. Used to watch it when it was on. Haven't had any desire to revisit it.
I used to read the books all the time, but I never watched the show.
Okay. The show was good as a kid, teenager watching it. I'm sure it doesn't hold up, but
yeah. So Chris Koselleck writes this movie, and that's the only fucking thing he writes.
I think he did a pretty good job then.
I don't know.
Surprised he didn't do more.
That's why I wanted to mention it, because I'm very surprised he didn't write more, because this is written like really fucking well.
I mean, unless when Alien 3 came out, that was the next one he was gonna, be inspired by, but he didn't really get enough material, so he said, fuck it, I'll just retire.
We're gonna get to this fucking Aliens thing, man, okay?
It's one line on Wikipedia.
I know, but like a lot of people do, oh, it's like Aliens, and it's not really.
Inspired is the key word. Much like Orca,
from the producer.
Orca was inspired by Jaws. Very different movie.
It's almost like the producer ripped off Aliens and like tried to make a fucking movie about aliens, and the people who wrote it and directed were like, no, fuck you. We're going to do something else.
That kind of lines up, actually. Yeah. I'm being a heavy-duty ball buster because I do like this movie, but
we're going to get to it.
Yeah.
So Serious Effects, the Serious Effects crew. Serious Nimbus, like the cloud.
Oh, okay.
Not serious like, why so serious?
Oh, okay.
Get it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it.
So I'm not even gonna.
Here we go.
Here we Blue Monkey. So yeah, they're on the crew for effects. Now there's a lot of people on this crew. I'm gonna blow through them real quick, but I want to mention them because they're all relevant on a ton of other projects.
Oh, okay.
So we got Steve Patino, Mark Williams, Mark Siegel, Todd Masters, Beth Hathaway, Michael Hoover, Bryce Barlow, and that's it.
Oh, okay.
Those are the big ones. And then there was other like, shop people.
Sure.
But these were like the main sculptors, fabricators, what have you.
I mean, the effects are great in this.
They're so fucking good. So collectively, they worked on Aliens.
Well, okay.
Predator, Critters, Reanimator, From Beyond, Planet Terror, Congo, Drag Me to Hell, Ghostbusters, The Fly, Men in Black, Fright Night, Star Trek, and Adam Green's Hatchet.
Those are all movies that have great effects in them.
So these
to say the least, and good movies.
So these are folks from MMI, John Buechler Studios, Stan Winston Studios, like big studios. They have worked for big effects studios, and they're all kind of, collectively, they've all worked on those different things. Not necessarily all of them have worked on all of those.
No,
things.
I gathered that. Okay. Yeah.
So we got a fucking ace team here.
Oh, yeah.
On doing effects on this, and they look fucking awesome. Especially for the budget for this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, what? Do you know the budget? I was assuming low.
It's low.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if it got theatrical release, it was a short-ass theatrical release. There's not too much information about this movie.
It's one of those.
It's one of those where, like, it's super ambitious and there's a lot of cool shit going on, but not much is written about it. And again, this Blu-ray looks fucking amazing. The restoration on this looks amazing.
Oh, my God.
But there's no fucking special features on it, which is kind of a bummer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would love to know a little bit more about the behind the scenes on that. But, I mean, it's cool to hear everything you just said, but yeah, you're right.
So the music is done by Patrick Coleman and Paul Novotny. Anyway, sorry, I'm trying not to fuck these names up.
You're doing a pretty good job, I
thought. The score in this is really great, too.
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of Dead Alive and Meet the Feebles.
A little bit, yeah.
Whatever that patch is they're using for that synth, dude, it sounds like a fucking Peter Jackson film at points, or like even like Bad Taste it sounds like, too.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Like the ding, 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 ding. You know, that kind of sound.
Yep.
So now we're getting to the end here. Bear with me. So this was part of a 3-picture deal between Sandy Howard, who is the producer, and RCA Columbia. So it's like a 3-movie thing. The other 2 were Dark Tower with Jenny Allgutter and Michael Moriarty.
Okay, yeah. My brain immediately went to Stephen King Dark Tower, even though it's 80s.
No.
But
no, this is like Haunted Hospital.
I've heard that's good, but I've never actually seen it.
I personally really like it. I think it's Vinegar. I think Vinegar Syndrome put out the Blu-ray. If it's not, it's definitely Severin. If it's not Vinegar Syndrome, so sorry if I fucked that up. It's upstairs. I bought it, so you're welcome. Dark Tower and Nightstick, which I've never even fucking heard of. Okay. So it received a 30% tax benefit because it was shot in Canada. Go figure. All the boots in this are fucking out the fucking wazoo. And the original title for it was Green Monkey. This is where we're getting into the title.
Okay.
Now they called it Green Monkey, but they changed it because of the theory that AIDS was born out of the green monkey species. What the fuck is it called? An infected green African monkeys. I never even fucking heard of a green monkey.
They were really trying to find any excuse to blame this on anything else, weren't they, back then?
Oh yeah, big time. And like, I mentioned Mysterious Universe before, but like if you're interested in that and like the conspiracy theory around AIDS and all that, they have a great episode about it. Go check it out, Mysterious Universe.
I mean, I'll go for the monkey in Dead Alive. I mean, you know that.
Oh, the Sumerian rat monkey.
I mean,
yeah,
that
maybe.
thing. I mean, I'd be a little worried about that thing touching you.
So like you said at the beginning, Sandy Howard is the producer on this film, and he was inspired by the success of Aliens.
Yes.
Now, I can see that a little bit, but it's not even really close.
No, I agree.
At all.
I
and
agree.
like anybody who says like, oh, it's like, you know, it's like this bug movie with aliens, and it's like, that's a fucking far-fetched claim.
I would say there are two things in this film that you could maybe make an argument about, and that's it.
That is like the hyperbolic bullshit that I hate.
Oh, yeah.
That somebody will read that on the net and then keep saying it to people, and then all of a sudden everybody's saying it.
I mean,
like,
I'm
that fucking movie Blue Monkey. It's like it's like an Aliens ripoff.
I mean, I'm saying it as a joke.
Yeah,
but,
no, I know.
But I'm also saying that it's a joke. I'm not like going an hour and a half on this show, being like, it's Alien,
trying to prove it to me.
Yeah.
No, I just thought it was funny because like maybe Sandy was inspired by it, but whatever. But the writer and the direct, William Fruitt and the writer fucking knocked us out of the park.
Sure. I mean, when we get to the part that I think is heavily inspired by it, I'll mention it. But honestly, again, it's like two things in the whole movie.
So, Blue Monkey.
Yes.
The title, still, I want to talk about.
Oh.
Because it has to be the club from Angels with Even Filthier Souls, right? I was singing at the Blue Monkey. That's what it's right?
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's about
10, 9, 2.
Boney Bob, John Vernon.
Who's he say? Squeaky with the little
Mo with the gimpy leg.
Yeah.
I could go on forever, baby. No, it's not. My wife thanks Julie for that joke because she pointed that out to me earlier, which I thought was very funny. No, but the little kid Joey with leukemia, the little boy with leukemia in this movie,
yes.
Has dreams about a blue monkey that is chasing him, and that's what he's kind of dubbed this creature that he can't see yet.
Oh, right. I mean, he literally he does say it TM one time in the movie towards the end, and it's like, oh, okay, it's the blue monkey. Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Which I wasn't even really waiting for. I was just kind of like, okay, that's the name, whatever.
Yeah, but it's one of those films that people go, Blue Monkey, what the fuck is that?
Why? Then they did their job, you know?
Exactly. I think so.
Especially in the 80s when it's like, we've talked about this before. We talked about it with Bobby and Cagney on that mom and pop documentary movie about how it's like how many times you walk, and we've talked about it with many people. I'm not even trying to kid ourselves here, that you walked into the fucking Blockbuster or your A&Z Video or West Coast or whatever was in your town, and you saw what the hell was on the cover. Maybe you read the back.
Look at this fucking thing. This is little Joey Lascola's picking this up like, oh my God, there's a whatever, blue monkey. Yeah, I'm taking that home.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm grabbing Good Burger for like the 5th time.
Well, we have that like on tape.
No, I know. I'm just saying. Yeah.
But yeah, you ready to hatch into this? You ready to hatch, breed, and kill?
I'm ready to plot crunch it if that's what you're saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So this movie's basically about this old man who gets pricked by this flower that his neighbor has, basically sent to her from this new volcanic island. And much like Alien, again, I'm joking to an extent, but it is like Alien a little bit, where this creature incubates inside his body, this bug, essentially.
Would you say an insect, would you say?
Yes, insect TM. Yeah. That incubates inside him and then bursts from his body, from his mouth. And then after some shenanigans that we'll get into, it becomes gigantic, and then these doctors and nurses and this police detective who happens to be there after being involved in a shootout kind of just go against this thing, and a bug expert they call in later in the film, and just try to survive and how to basically beat this disease that's creating more of these things potentially, and it chases them all around the place basically throughout. That's the gist of it.
So we open, like you said, with Helen Hughes.
Right.
Who plays
Marwella
Harbison. This woman is Grandma Rose in Goosebumps. You think that's what happened? For the How to Kill a Monster episode? With the gumbo that kills the fucking monster?
2-parter, I think.
Yeah,
right?
that was a 2-parter. I think that's funny because I wonder if Fruitt directed that and was like, hey, remember, you were on Blue Monkey with me. Come on.
I can totally see. I mean, that happens all the time, right?
Oh, I would assume so. She's also in Visiting Hours, The Peanut Butter Solution, Puppets Who Kill, and another thing that will come up that is Adam Sandler adjacent. She is the second grade teacher in Billy Madison.
Yeah.
There are a lot of characters in this movie.
But it works.
No. That's what I'm saying. Like, to the credit of the writing, like, there are shit. When I was taking notes, I was like, there are a fuck ton of characters in this movie, and they all kind of have something to do or play integral parts to the whole overall thing, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I totally agree. Even characters that you think, like, their let's say, moment in the sun or their plot line's over, it's like they even have something, like, that comes towards the end. You're like, oh, that totally made sense for that character. But, like, you don't expect it. It just works.
Yeah.
Well, except for poor Fred here, the old man that I mentioned in that plot crunch that gets pricked by this flower. Okay, I have to mention this line because I think it's hilarious. He's like fixing something in this old woman's greenhouse.
Yeah,
and he's like, I'll give you the friends and family special. All you gotta do is, would you go on a date with me? And she's like, I'd love to. And he's like, I'm the luckiest guy in town because I'm on a date with the prettiest girl in town. And she's like, oh.
Haven't felt better in my whole life.
Yeah. 1 minute later, he's collapsing, grabbing his chest.
His fucking fingers gangrenous, dude. You know who he looks like? He looks like Fred from Gremlins 2, the guy who dresses like fucking Dracula.
A little bit without the makeup.
Yeah, without the makeup on. Like, that's his side job. Yeah,
I'm definitely not Grandpa from the Munsters.
No. So, like you were saying, this old guy gets pricked by this fucking flower. She says it's from. Now I looked this up. It's not a real thing.
Okay.
It's from Colocae, which is a newly formed small volcanic island just south of Micronesia.
But yeah, they bring this guy to the hospital. They don't wait long to kick this movie off, honestly.
No, the thing is, it starts and it never fucking stops. That's the other thing. Like, even the slower parts are interesting enough where you're not like, let's hurry it up already.
Yeah, and there's only a couple slow parts and it's all like plot stuff.
It's all
exposition. Yeah.
The big word that I like to use, I just forgot.
That's because I said plot stuff.
Yeah. The plot shit. Yeah, exposition.
The plot.
Yeah. The plot. But yeah, so they get to she ends up like taking him to the hospital. Yeah. And this fucking so we get introduced, we gotta just do it, get right out in front of it, because we're gonna kind of glaze over some of this because there is a lot of shit in this movie. And not that nothing happens, but it's easier to kind of just bullet point this motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly. Some of it, like, if you're watching the movie, it's pertinent, but you don't really need to know it to get the review.
Yeah, for the full experience, it's it's great, but you don't need to talk about it.
No.
So we're introduced to Susan Ansbeck, who plays Judith Glass, Dr. Judith Glass. She's one of the two main doctors. Then we get Gwyneth Walsh, who plays Dr. Rachel Carlson. She's
like the main doctor, right?
She's the main, the redhead.
Yeah. She's the one that kind of looks like Sigourney Weaver with the curly hair, just kind of.
Sorta. She is one of the Klingon Duras sisters from TNG. She's
I saw that.
Beatar. Yeah.
Maybe kind of want to watch Star Trek. I'm not gonna lie. It's on Hulu.
He was fucking cool because I was like, I was like, I don't remember Beatar. And then I looked it up. I was like, oh yeah, that's right.
Well, we also have this detective character who brings in his partner who's fucked up, shot in the stomach.
So Steve Railsback, fucking, without missing a beat, they got this old guy in the fucking thing, and then Steve Railsback comes barreling through the door. He's like, my partner's shot.
He's like, I need a doctor right now. He's like pushing the nurse out of the way.
He plays James Bishop. Now, he's been in a ton of stuff, too. Life Force. Toby Hooper's Life Force.
Really?
Yeah. Trick or Treats. The Wind with, what's her face from... They Live, Meg Foster.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's in that. That's a great flick.
He's also Duane Barry in the fucking X-Files.
Yeah.
One of the more classic characters, I would argue. And if you don't know who Duane Barry is in X-Files, basically, he was a guy who was abducted, but no one believed him. And he went fucking crazy, and he basically held up this, like, I forget, it was like an insurance company or something. But it's a great episode. It's called Duane Barry. And Mulder goes in basically to be like the negotiator, and he holds Mulder hostage. And, long story short, if you haven't seen the episode, it all ends fine. Mulder gets, out of the situation. But they have like a follow-up episode where he kidnaps fucking Scully. And then I think Mulder ends up having to shoot him. But he's trying to get like taken back by the aliens. It's one of the best characters in the show. And it's a two episode character, but he's fucking amazing in that.
He's great, man. He's also in Nuki, which comes out right before this.
Why does that sound so familiar?
Now, we might have mentioned it on the show, and I know that there's a lot of people that have done it. I think Red Letter Media has done it.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's definitely one of those things that I would love to do as a watch-along for Patreon. If we can cover... Okay, so you know how Mac and Me is a ripoff of E.T.?
Yes.
Okay, imagine a ripoff of Mac and Me.
So
it's already an E.T. ripoff.
I was gonna say, so Mac and Me added the wheelchair off the cliff. Do we get 2 wheelchairs off the cliff? Do they get pushed into space?
Man, this is some these fucking 2 alien brothers crash land in Africa and get separated, or 2 parts of the world, or some shit like that.
It's a Toe Jam and Earl. They look for their spaceship parts.
They are fucking terrifying. These things. I'm sure there's a clip playing right now.
Okay,
but we should totally cover it. Like, it would be fun to do a watch along of that because it's just fucking weird if you have not seen that flick. Also, we put that out on Home Video Express.
Oh, I was going to say, also, speaking of watch-alongs, go back and check out that Rumpelstiltskin watch-along we did earlier this month. Because, A, I love that movie.
Yeah.
B, we covered it in season 1.
Yeah.
And C, it was just really fun. Go check it out if you missed it. It's on patreon.com/moviedumpster. You can check the archive out, and every month we do a new one. You come hang out in the chat. It's live. We're bullshitting, talking over a movie.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
But we're all hanging out, and we get to chat with you and have beers and stuff. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's like you're right in the video dungeon with us, hanging out, watching a movie.
I don't know. I'm like leaning on something. I don't know. Your shoulder, I suppose.
So he was also in that Ed Gein movie. He plays Ed Gein.
Oh, wow.
Do you remember that? Not the Kane Hodder one, the other one.
I've never seen it, but I know what you're talking about.
And not the one with the South Bend Shovel Slayer. Deranged.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Deranged is fucking great.
Haven't seen that either, but I know the one you're talking about.
And he's also in Alligator 2. And he was in James Balsamo's It Wants Blood. So there you go.
Alligator 2 is one I know you've talked about. Now that we've done the first one, circle back around on at some point.
Oh, yeah. In some capacity. Maybe a mini-sode, maybe watch along. We'll figure it out. It's starting to get hot. You know how I like my fucking creature in the water movies when it gets hot?
Yeah.
Piranha, alligator, possibly an anaconda.
So, I always like a cold good shake in the summer when it's really getting hot.
Strawberry?
Yeah, especially in August, man, when you're really getting just hit, that you're the sweat's dripping off and you feel like you just came out of the swimming pool. I want to be like Ed and Good Burger in that goddamn shake machine.
You don't say.
Anyway, Duane Barry.
So Fred's on the fucking table, man, and he starts like convulsing, and his throat starts like puffing up, and this fucking larva comes like you're pulling a fucking handkerchief out of somebody's mouth.
A handkerchief?
Well, like like a magician pulls, they pull like shit out of their mouth.
I know this is like a worm, man, but I'm gonna be the fucking gross bathroom humor guy. This looks like a white turd that comes out of this guy's mouth that starts moving around in this fucking tray.
It's this fucking gross larva thing. It's right on the back of the box, too. And this thing just comes out, pops itself out right onto his chest, and everybody's just like, hell of a thing. What the fuck?
And then it starts like moving around on get this the hell out of here. And like the orderly's like, I'm not touching this. And the doctor's like, no, you're going to fucking do it because I told you to.
So now there's already a scare of a possible contagion in the hospital. So they take this fucking larva and they send it off to not forensics. What the fuck is it? The lab.
Yeah, the lab, whatever.
Whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah, they have someone there that's more of an expert on it than they are.
It's like the research lab to see if it's like contagious or has infection or bacteria or something. Turns out it does. A new super killer bacteria,
right?
Along with a bug,
right? Because you immediately find out that the guy who brought her in the ambulance even is now showing symptoms.
Yeah. So and then as we go, it kind of has this weird thing where there is this contagion subplot, and that's why they're kind of confined to this place, which is really cool that I like about it. It almost has a kind of Resident Evil feel to it, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about that because I know we made that comment a lot on the Project Metal Beast episode, but this did feel a little bit like a Resident Evil movie, especially I think of Resident Evil 4 when they start introducing those kind of bug monsters.
Yeah.
More, I mean, obviously you had them in the first couple games, but I specifically remember like 4 had those like chrysalis style, or chrysalid rather, style monsters in the back half of the game.
And they're very similar to that.
That's what I...
It kind of looks like the Applegates. It looks like a big mantis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, so that's kind of like you just said, that's why a lot of these characters stick around. Like Marwella, she's got to go into quarantine.
Yeah. It's more like Wreck or like Mulberry Street. The found footage movies
I haven't seen either
of like getting quarantined in like a building and like having to fight like a monster. Anyway, just real quick, this hospital used to be a mental institution, and one of the doctors was like, "Don't let the old building fool you. We're very advanced." And they walk in like Doctor Klingon shows Steve Railsback the fucking like laser.
That's what. Yeah, I couldn't believe that.
Yeah,
talk about Resident Evil.
Yeah, I wrote this shit down. It's a laser machine that molecularly breaks down experiments and molecularly breaks down DNA and RNA and RCA and HBO and TNT and USA and Disney Plus.
Oh yeah, all the good Netflix even. Yeah, it's kind of cool.
They fucking nuke this like Nigma Tech blender full of fucking DNA. They're like, oh, we're back to the drawing board.
And the doctor just laughs at it like, they're trying.
Also, we get introduced to the Burger King Kids Club. Little Joey, who has leukemia, who's really sweet. Yeah, I love these kids,
I like
man.
The kids.
This little girl who has like a neck brace. This other kid, Tyrone, this little redhead kid, and this other little girl. The girl in pink.
Yeah.
She is actually, because I was just watching it for Friday the 13th. She's in Friday the 13th, the series. She's in the very first episode with like the killer doll.
Huh.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out.
It's just, it was like around the same time. It had to be like the same year, like the next year.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I love the exchange between Jim, the detective, and Joey, because he's like, Joey's like, oh, what are you here for? Is that a real gun? And he's like, yeah, it's a real gun. And he's like, what are you here for? He's like, oh, my partner got shot. And he's like, what are you in for? And he's like, I got leukemia. And it's like,
yeah.
So
Dr. Klingon.
Dr. Duress. That's her name.
Dr. Duress, whatever the fuck. The Sigourney Weaver. Yeah. And even, I don't remember his name. I call him fucking Duane Barry. The detective. They have like this Steve Railsback. They have this kind of like cute relationship where they're being adults, like, you better not do that. You're gonna get in trouble. Yeah. But it's like kind of cute, but the kids don't get it really. They're just like, oh, we gotta get away. We're gonna get in trouble. They constantly are running away from the adult. It's cute.
It's cute. I like the relationship between Jim and Joey. It's cute.
Yeah. I do think it's kind of hilarious. And this is, again, 1987. He's waiting for his partner to come out of like emergency surgery, and they're like, well, just wait in the waiting room. This guy's like chain smoking with all these sick people sitting around him. I was like, all right, it was the 80s. Nobody gave a shit back then.
But we're still doing it in the 80s, like up until like the early 90s, I think.
Well, I want to say, 90s is when you started to see a lot of like restaurants started to get rid of like the smoking areas.
Not even, dude. I remember.
It was early 2000s?
Yeah, I remember smoking in like 2008 in IHOP.
Wow. I guess, you're probably right.
You remember, we used to go out to eat and I'd smoke in the fucking restaurants.
Yeah. Thanks.
You're welcome.
But going back just real quick to what you were saying about it being an insane asylum, just because I meant to say this when you mentioned that, I thought that was kind of an interesting and smart way to kind of, because I'm imagining this is just a location they could get to film this movie.
It's great.
And it kind of fits the story also.
Big time.
Because there's a lot of these like big maintenance tunnels and there's underground area that for an insane asylum, that kind of makes sense, especially if you've seen other movies with the asylums in them.
Yeah, no, it's funny you mentioned that too, because like I didn't think of it like that, but like it totally utilizes that location and really brings it all together in the fucking script and like how everything's utilized.
Yes.
To your point, they're totally like that because that's where they would like move the most dangerous patients.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And I remember, 2011. Chris Barr and I went to the Marlboro Mental Hospital before they knocked it down in New Jersey.
Oh,
the big giant fucking like Dracula style penitentiary.
Wow.
And like we walked all through there and shot a bunch of stuff, but we were down in those fucking tunnels, man. And there was mud and shit like on the floor, but like it was these long ass corridors. It was creepy as fuck. I don't know if we still have footage of that, Chris. I don't know. Hook me up.
I'd
somewhere.
love to see that.
I'm sure he's got it on a drive somewhere.
He's got to go dig it out of storage.
I think we were shooting for like an Urban Explorer show or something like that. Not our show, for somebody else, but we were totally in there. And then I got a ticket because my goddamn car was out in a spot where it shouldn't have been. And I got busted by the cops, and I had to explain, what are you doing? Oh, I wasn't at the Marlboro Mental Hospital.
I got a story like that I'll save for another time when it's a little bit more relevant, where I was parked somewhere I wasn't supposed to be. Save that for a later date, maybe. But yeah, like you had mentioned earlier, there's so many goddamn characters in this movie, and I just want to mention one character because it's some MDU-ass shit.
Oh, I love this character.
The Chief.
Oh, yeah. Chief Vernon?
Yeah. You think this is what he did before he became the Chief in Killer Clowns?
Okay, so John Vernon's in this movie as the director of the hospital or whatever.
The nicest I've ever seen him in a movie, by the way.
He's still stern, though.
Yeah.
I think he's great in this. But, no, I don't think it's the same timeline, but it's a splintered timeline.
Okay,
right?
Wow.
So instead of clowns, you get giant bugs, and instead of being in Korea and being a cop, he's like the director of this hospital, because we do get cocoons later.
Yes,
maybe not cotton
true.
candy ones, but those people are definitely alive in those, and they get eaten.
Well, yeah, but I also do like, again, just because it's John Vernon and like you said, Killer Clowns, I immediately think of Mooney. Yeah. But it's like this character, like you said, he is stern, but like when push comes to shove, he's like, no, I care about the patients. Like, do what you got to do. You
think that he's going to have this turn where he's like, fuck them all, you know what I mean? Because he doesn't want to alert the authorities that they might have a contagion on their hands, because they go and they
they go into the lab.
And go into the lab and they're cutting this fucking larva open, and like this green shit starts seeping out of it, and like, I don't know, an explosion happens, and like,
well, it's acid blood, Joe. Obviously,
oh, of course, exactly. The fucking scalpel goes flying across the room, and then this bug comes out of this thing. You don't see it though, and they put like a glass dome over it, and it turns out like Fred's doing really bad, and like now we get that scene where that other guy's like, yeah, somebody else is sick, just like the same symptoms as the old guy, and John Vernon's like, oh fuck.
So then they got to call disease control. But speaking of Fred, they go back to him. This fucking chart starts going crazy. This is like the thing, for fuck's sakes. But you don't see the whole thing. But
before that part, she goes to take blood from him, and it's like milky and red, and she goes, oh, his bones are dissolving.
They're liquefying.
They're liquefying and finding their way into his circulatory system.
I'm like, oh my God. So then
it's melting from the inside out.
So they flatlines, and then our main doctor, Doctor Klingon, as we're now calling her.
Dr. Duras.
I mean, you know me with this shit. Once I got a name in my head, I can't think of the actual thing.
Yeah.
I was calling Richard Mole fucking Gunnar Hansen in our Ghost Shark episode, for God's sakes.
That's her Klingon last name.
Oh,
by the way.
Oh, okay. I gotta rewatch TNG. Well, rewatch. I never actually saw the whole series, TNG.
Great series.
Where the hell was I going with that, folks?
The defibrillator.
Yeah, the defibrillator. Clear! They go to do this, and it's a great shot because it just cuts to their perspective, like basically his perspective at them, and just this massive amount of blood just hits every doctor in the room, and they're like, oh.
They literally just touch. She's like, hits him in the chest and just fucking all over everybody. It's great.
Liquid blood, I mean.
It's good
bones
stuff.
Bones and blood, yeah.
Yeah, just liquefied internal organs and bones.
So they're they're trying to take care of that. Duane Barry's trying to he's worrying about his fucking friend. So I was floored when this guy walked on camera. Joe Flattery. And to be fair with him, also Robin Duke. But Joe Flattery is the guy, well, he was on they were both on SCTV.
Yeah, and I think Robin Duke was on SNL even too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now Robin Duke, I guess maybe we'll get her out of the way first.
Or maybe it was, what did you just say?
I said SCTV.
SETV. That's the one that John Candy was on, right?
Oh, yeah.
The Canadian
Rick
one?
Moranis,
yeah, okay.
And
maybe I'm
Harold Ramis.
I think I'm wrong. Go ahead.
Robin Duke, she was also on that, like I said, but she was Dolores in Groundhog Day, the waitress.
She really wishes she can see Paris, dude.
Oh, boy, would I.
But going back to Joe Flattery, I'm just going to say the line, and I'm sure you'll get it. You jackass!
You suck, you jackass!
You're a jackass! Fucking from Happy Gilmore and other films, obviously, but that's the one that always comes to mind. That was one I watched a lot as a kid.
I know.
Why? My parents only watch shit. That's one I was able to watch.
Well, there's no boobs in it.
No, yeah, I
There's
still
no
love
blood in it.
I still just real quick love the TV cut of that because, well, love is a strong word, but where they the Bob Barker fight, and it's like price is wrong, bitch, but they change it to the price is wrong, Bobby. And then Joe Flattery, and he plays this like neurotic, soon to be father.
Yeah. He's doing
Mr. Database.
Yeah, he's doing like calculations stuff to like figure out when his wife's going to give birth. Just real quick, he's also in an episode of Monsters. Just put a fucking pin in that. Murray's Monster is the name of the episode. He plays a psychiatrist who's a piece of shit. Farful. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Okay. Well, we'll get there.
Yes.
We'll get there.
Yeah. But yeah, to your point.
Yeah, they come in and they're they're very neurotic. Well, he's very neurotic. And, they sit down and I think this pregnant woman sits next to fucking the detective who's chain smoking.
Nobody gave a shit.
Nobody cared. No. So he has a funny line too, and she's like, oh, they're like, oh, the doctor, he'll see you in like 15 minutes. He's like, you sit down here. I'm gonna see if they have everything ready for you. Don't worry about it. It's pretty good because they come up again later in a pretty funny scenario before we really get into the terror of this movie.
Yeah.
If you want to, granted, Fred is dead, but we really didn't get to the bug shit yet.
Fred's dead, baby. Yeah. Fred's dead. Now, before we get into what blows the lid off this situation, I want to talk about Dee Dee.
Oh,
Granny Van Dam's cohort herself.
Yeah. So, you think it's a cohort?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So what's her name? Marwala?
Well, Marwala is the woman that's brought in who basically caused this.
Right. So she's like in quarantine, and this blind woman comes in named Dee Dee, and she's like, "Well, you can't be in quarantine without some company." So she's a fucking old booze hound, dude.
Oh,
she brings a giant thing of fucking like Jack Daniels or some shit in there, and her and Marwala are just fucking boozing it up while the hospital goes fucking insane.
I love how when she first goes in there, though, Dr. Glass is like, you can't be in here. The sign says quarantine. She's like, I must have missed it.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see the sign, she says.
But you're right. She's not quite GVD. I was thinking, GVD likes a skin walk, so maybe that was her. But
no, I think...
Could be one of her workers from the old GVD whorehouse.
Oh, it could be. I think they're just friends, right? She's like she's blind, so like GVD keeps her around because she can't see anything.
Sure.
All the bad shit that goes down. She's probably fucking, maybe she's fucking monsters or something in the brothel. Who knows? She could be.
She hands, she gives her Haggerty. She's okay, fucking disgusting Charnetsky for some reason, but Haggerty, it's a turnoff for GVD. Gives them the Dee Dee.
She doesn't like smokers, yeah, or Big Mama. And the suckling.
From the suckling,
could be.
Yeah, possibly.
Anyway, these two ladies are getting fucking schnockered in her fucking quarantine room.
For the majority of the film.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, hey, sounds like a good time to me. But
by this point, there's 4 more patients that have symptoms.
Right, right.
And then this is kind of the epicenter of the plot where they task this nurse to watch over the bug that's in the glass jar that we were talking about. And some dude's like, hey, you want to get out of here? We'll go smoke a fucking little J-boy real quick. And she's like, okay.
Yeah, cigarette. Yeah. They're clearly like in a closet fucking.
Well, no. They go to smoke a joint together.
All right.
And the little kid, the Burger King Kids Club shows up because they're like exploring. They end up feeding this. They're like, oh, there's this weird bug. Oh, it looks sad in there and hungry. Let's feed it. There's no food.
They grabbed the fucking Ninja Turtles liquid, the TCRG.
TCRB.
Yeah, they just pour this fucking bunch of blue shit into there.
And it's a growth hormone.
Yeah, well, as we find out.
It's some kind of acid. I wrote it down somewhere.
It is some kind of hormone thing. They do say that later.
It affects the hormones and increases growth is basically what it does.
They pour this in. You don't really see anything besides a glow, but you just see this fucking thing that's inside shaking. Like, uh-oh, and they run away.
We didn't really talk about it yet, but the lighting in this movie is fucking awesome.
Oh, yeah.
And like this thing is like shaking and like there's smoke coming out of it and like green light and stuff. It's wacky. I love it.
Yes. And then, they do that couple come back. Allison and boyfriend. I guess, okay, they smoked the joint. Now they're going to fuck. I thought they fucked previously, but okay, fine. Nucleic
acid. That's a growth promoter.
That's what it was.
That's what it is. Increases hormone activity, which makes you grow.
So they come back. They're about to fuck on the table. Real sanitary, by the way.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Good way to get fired.
There's this green goo dripping off the fucking counter and stuff. How they don't see this bug, I have no idea.
What did they think? Alf came in and blew a load? Like, what the fuck is this?
I don't know.
So it's a great POV shot, though, because like this movie does a great job of not revealing the monster right away. Like, when you get the reveal, it's cool.
It takes a long time to get to the monster, but you're never upset about it. You're never like, where the fuck's the monster? Because there's so many like other things happening that are good.
Yeah. So they get attacked and you don't really see what happens. And then meanwhile, while that's kind of happening, we get introduced to like kind of the last two, I guess I would argue, main characters. Tony, who's the head of security.
Yeah.
Who for some reason they keep sending on fucking errands. I don't get that, but it's a good way to get him out of the hospital. And they specifically go to him. They give him 2 tasks.
It's so we can have a guy outside.
Yes.
That we can cut back to and be like, oh, what's going on out there? Oh, this character is going to tell us what's happening.
You're 100% right. They tell him basically to go pick up this bug guy who's friends of the Doctor Klingon.
Yeah.
And then, I'll talk about that scene in a second, but
Elliot Jacobs, played by Don Lake.
Hold that thought, because we have some trivia for him.
We do.
And then his second task, once he brings the bug guy back, is to then go to the greenhouse and get the plant so they could potentially find some kind of cure for this infection.
Yeah.
The bug guy. This guy's in so much shit. Oh, he is like one of those that guys.
He is a that guy 100%.
Famously, at least on this show.
Yes.
He was in Super Mario Brothers, a film we both love.
He's the guy getting a massage with the high heel. How many Marios between the both of you?
Luigi Mario, Mario Mario.
Luigi Mario? Mario Luigi?
Insert music here because we haven't done that joke in video form yet. It's been a minute. We love that movie. Go back, listen to the episode.
Mario.
I guess speaking of watch-alongs, we did a watch-along on the director's cut of that. That was incredible.
No, the Morton Jankel
Morton Jankel. And there's a book. CB Smith, we got to cover that at some point. We need to get more Mario Brothers shenanigans on this show.
We need to see what really happened in that script.
Yeah. I got to see what the fuck Fiona Shaw was really doing in that movie.
He's also in Pink Chiquitas, which I wanted to bring up because somebody else was just talking about that movie to us.
Okay.
So he's in that, and he's an entomologist.
He's also in Police Academy.
Oh, okay.
He's Mr. Wig. At least that's what he's credited as. And I was like, what the Mr. Wig? What the fuck? I don't remember that scene. So I look up the clip and it's like a scene when Steve Guttenberg is working at like the car place.
Yeah.
And this guy comes in, he's some like schmarmy asshole. And he's like, yeah, park my car. And Guttenberg's like, there's no fucking spots. He's like, just park it. And Steve Guttenberg takes this guy's like Lambo and just goes up on 2 wheels on the side and parks this. And it's great. Anyway, he's pretty good in this.
I love this guy's like place. There's literally bugs everywhere. There's like crickets jumping on the fucking dude's like jacket and shit. Yeah. And he's got like bugs in the fridge and stuff. He's like, oh, you want some lemonade or whatever?
He's like, I'm running out of room in the fridge. He's like, I got some earthworm for some elementary school students. I got to keep them cold or else they just crawl right out of here. And Tony's like,
yeah, okay. And get in the fucking car. And he's like, Beetle, huh? That's my favorite.
Yeah.
He's a really great character. And again, like he's only in bit parts that I've seen him in, but he's a fucking like main player in this movie.
I mean, he does some stuff that's a little stereotypical of a character that you would expect in his role, but also he's not as stupid as some other characters in other movies in that role.
This is true.
Because I think of stuff in other movies where it's like, oh, we got this guy that's really interested in the monster. He's 100% going to die. And then this guy's,
he beats it.
He does.
So we cut back and to the hospital, and this nurse goes to check on the 2 nurses fucking.
She smelled pussy juice.
Oh, man. Well, she smelled something, dude, because this...
smelled that elf gum I was talking about.
This fucking door is blown out. There's green shit all over the place. And she walks in, and, like, everything's in shambles, and there's this green fucking goo everywhere. So now we get our trio, our main trio that kind of stick together for the rest of the movie. We get Jim, we get Doctor Klingon, and we get Elliot, the guy from Mario Brothers.
Yeah, bug guy.
He comes down, he walks right over to the fucking goop and he scoops it up because somebody fucking jerks off and you want to keep it.
That's what I'm saying. Also, a key note here that we forgot to, well, I think we did mention it, but it's like Lincoln Institute of Disease Control. It's basically in New York is the point, like New York City.
Well, it's just it's a disease control place that we cut to, and they're like, oh my God, they analyzed the samples that were taken from this other hospital that they sent them, and they're like, oh, we've never seen a bacteria like this before. It's a fucking code 4 quarantine. There's a complete lockdown on this building, like ASAP. They end up going, like you said, when dude goes to get the plant from the greenhouse, they're burning it to the ground.
And like the Wesker-ass guy is there, which doesn't really go anywhere. But
he's more like a Birkin, but yeah.
And he's like kind of watching this guy Tony sweat because he's like, wow, we need that flower to potentially create an antidote. And they're like, well, it's burned too bad.
Fuck it. Oh, dude, you know he procured that fucking disease. He's going right back to Umbrella with that.
Make Plant 42. Man.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
It always comes back to fucking Resident Evil on this show.
It's because it's it's things we love. So this bug's on the loose now. And now the lights are going crazy. There's people in surgery operating on Jim's buddy. And if the lights go out, this guy's going to fucking die.
I mean, and that couple are having the baby.
They're having the baby. So all this is going on simultaneously.
Plus everybody else that's in the fucking hospital.
Yeah, the kids and all the other people that are, the sick people that are quarantined from the disease and all kinds of shit.
Well, then the whole fucking military operation pulls up.
Yeah, we're getting to that because I just want to get to the janitor guy who looks like
Mickey Rooney?
He looks like a stretched out Billy Barty, dude.
Oh, well, okay, I'll give you that one too. I thought Mickey Rooney immediately hitting the bottle like in Silent Night, Deadly Night 5. Like, Pino, what's going on down here?
Maybe he was like a fucking reject from Pino that he made, like another robot, Mickey Rooney.
I tried to create a clone of myself, and he's a drunk and he kind of looks like me, but he's in this mate. Okay, this is one of the things that's kind of alien-esque.
Well,
aliens-esque.
Okay, because it's in like a what? There's like staircases and catwalks, and it's like industrial looking.
It's loose as hell. I think it's mostly the strobe light that kind of gives that effect, because I think of not the strobe lights in Aliens, but I'm thinking of like a lot of the scenes with the flashlights in the dark areas.
It's very advantageous to have, like I mentioned in Metal Beast, with like blowing light like through like the grates and stuff and around stuff and creating shadows and kind of sculpting with the light, which is they do a great fucking job in this movie.
Speaking of Metal Beast, a similar kill as in Metal Beast here for this fucking Mickey Rooney, poor bastard. He doesn't see this thing coming, but you hear it.
Yeah.
I think you might get like an over the shoulder shot and you just kind of see this black mass.
Yeah.
But this thing grabs him from behind, I'm assuming either with its claw or its fucking mouth pincer that we see shortly after, and just lifts this motherfucker off screen. You see the green blood goop fucking drip and the boot drop.
The fucking boot drop. The classic boot drop.
It's great.
Yeah. It's really fucking cool.
But yeah, then the military shows up after all our principal characters are in there. And we even have a scene, too, where the people working in the quarantine section are like, we don't want to chance it anymore. We're fucking done. We want to go home.
There's people leaving, and they're setting up for quarantine outside.
They fucking chain up the door.
Well, how the fuck they got out, I don't know, because John Vernon goes out, and he's like, hey, what the fuck's going on? And he's like, stay there. We're quarantining the building. You can't leave. Here's an order from the government or whatever.
Yeah. He hands him like a warrant or what have you.
Which, I mean,
I get it.
Those are the circumstances that they're under, because it's this new, like, if it gets out, we're talking like Black Plague levels of like death.
But what they don't know, well, Tony finds out.
Well,
is that this is like Return of the Living Dead, and there's like a colonel back in Washington waiting to hit the fucking button.
Well,
to shoot the missile into the hospital.
He mentioned that guy mentions that in 2 hours they're gonna level the fucking building, and I'm like, and that doesn't happen. But I want to get to that when we get to the end. So,
alternate ending, the fucking nuke comes in, like Raccoon City.
Well, real quick, it even escalates, because after John Vernon goes back inside, they chain the door, like you said, and it's just fucking pandemonium, dude. There's like old guys getting trampled and shit. And then this guy climbs out this window, and the dude's like, stop, or we're going to shoot or whatever. He's coming across the lawn, and they fucking mow this guy down.
That was fucking brutal.
But like it added, I don't know. I think it like,
I like that.
Makes the movie better, because it's like, oh, this is like totally serious, and like if anybody tries to get out, they're gonna fucking kill them all.
And it doesn't feel like a situation where they're just looking to blow someone away. Like it's not like they have like their fingers on the trigger ready.
They give him a chance.
Like the guy seems like upset about it.
They don't. Yeah, but it's either you kill this guy or risk how many lives with the disease.
Exactly. Yeah, it's really well acted. And again, Tony's out there like, holy shit! I'm the fucking head of security. I gotta get in. They're like, nope. Sorry, hang out here.
Call in, and then because he's like, how could you do that? He's like, if I don't keep this shit under control, they're going to have a fucking riot, and like it's going to be bad news.
Yeah. But then we kind of, while that's all going on now, the main trio are trying to figure out where the fuck this bug monster went.
I love the gunshots and shit, and everybody's going crazy downstairs. And fucking Marwala and Dee Dee are in the thing, and they're like, "Oh my, did you hear that?" And they're fucking drinking. She's like, "It's Friday night. It always sounds like this."
Normal. Marwala's like, "Okay,
fucking pour me another one."
They got the fucking bubbles coming out of their mouth, just about.
Like the pops above their head.
But yeah, they go down to this maintenance shaft because the fucking Mickey Rooney guy isn't answering this fucking radio anymore.
Well, because they're trying to fix the power because there's people on like life support and shit and like trying to
it's a hospital, guys.
Trying to do surgery.
Yeah. So they go down there and they see like in the corner, like Blair Witch or some shit, this thing just standing there.
Oh my god, this thing is just like admiring the scenery until you figure out like what the fuck is going on.
It's birthing its mate. More or less.
This is fucking awesome, dude. This is like the sciencey bullshit that I'm all about. Like
it's
this,
like some crypto kind of shit.
Well, cryptids, yeah. Like it's some weird
not
like,
crypto. Jesus, different wrong thing. You know what I meant.
Cryptid currency.
Yeah. I buy some of that.
Shit. I'll fucking buy. I'll put $100 on Dogman coin.
I'll buy some Mothman, please.
Some Mothman bucks. Yeah. So this fucking giant bug is standing there, and again, I like this pseudosciency bullshit because Elliot like goes into all this stuff about the bug. He's like, oh my god, it's a hermaphrodite. It births its own mate. Not like it doesn't just procreate like asexually. It literally, it's a male that births a female that's already pregnant with other eggs.
Right. So Joe, would you say it has one fully functioning vagina?
Oh, it's one fully functioning vagina for sure. Yeah.
Fully functional vagina.
Leaders, everybody.
100%. The Van Dams over there like, hey, way to go, bug.
So I think you're right. Yeah, GVD is involved.
Potato people.
Oh, yeah, they're waiting for the building to come down and pick up the remains.
Oh, yeah, they're eating them, yeah.
But you're right. That is really cool. And Elliot even says, like, yeah, this is like, he's like, oh, the closest bug I can even think of, like, that would do something like this. Oh, that thing, it's going to lay, like, enough eggs to have, like, 500 of these things walking around in a day.
It's just cool because he, like, records it, like, doing its call and stuff, and, like, and is applying all of his knowledge to kind of figure out how this thing works, and, like, how to fight it, too, because we get a little monologue in a little bit. But the guy in the bug suit is Ivan E. Roth.
Okay.
He's Willie in Night of the Comet, and he plays the fucking psycho zombie in Night of the Creeps. You know the one?
Oh!
Yeah, you know the one that Tom Atkins kills and then comes back to life and breaks through the floor and kills that lady with an axe? Or that old person with the axe?
Probably one of the best parts in the movie.
It's fucking so good. He blows his head off with the shotgun. He's in that makeup in that suit.
Oh, okay.
And then he plays a zombie at the end of Dead Heat, and he's also a mummy in Tales from the Crypt.
Huh.
I wonder if it's the Anthony Michael Hall one and Jeffrey Jones one.
Oh, God.
So, you think this thing is cousins with the Applegates?
I still haven't seen the damn Applegates,
that's
man.
right. We still got to do it. We've been putting
it off for too long.
We've literally been talking about doing the Applegates for like 3 fucking years.
I mean, honestly, maybe it was a good thing we put it off because now we can actually like show people what the fuck it looks like on the video version. And it's Ed Begley. I love me some Ed Begley Jr.
Well, it kind of looks like a beefed up version of an Applegate,
okay.
Which is basically essentially like a mantis looking creature.
Yeah. So I will say the other alien thing that I'm joking about that I could see where people are coming from is the fact, but it's a fucking bug, so it makes sense. Which it's a stupid thing to get upset about if anyone is getting upset about it.
No.
You know, of course it's gonna make eggs and have hundreds of babies like aliens. It's a fucking bug. Well, the aliens are kind of based on bugs. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Well, especially in that second movie.
Yeah. But again, super nitpicky shit if you really even want to go there.
Yeah, I mean, it's so like surface level comparison.
Yeah.
It's like what we were talking about on the Razorback episode about people comparing it to, this is a Jaws ripoff.
Well, again, that's why I mentioned Orca earlier. Yeah. I mean, it is, but it's its own movie.
It's a cash-in.
Cash-in, right.
It's not a ripoff.
So this is more like a cash-in, I guess, if anything. If anything. I mean,
it doesn't even play like that at all, though. Like,
no.
How, like, Aliens is like
it's more of an action movie.
Yeah, it's a fucking action movie, and there's like troops, and we're blowing the shit out of things. There's like there's like 2 bugs in this. That's
it's fucking great.
It is good, but there's like 2 bugs in this, and it's not, and you don't even see it that much.
No.
So that's my point.
And I do like too. Sorry if you said this already, but we have the big main bug who's like kind of the main threat.
Yeah.
But the smaller one's almost like more like in a worm form, for lack of a better term.
Well, it's the female, so it's smaller and it's vulnerable. It's also a different color, so it looks like it like, I think at one point, dude even says that like its exoskeleton hasn't even hardened all the way yet.
And that's why it was like inside the male, like the back, I think it's like a pupa or something, like the ass area.
Well,
that it crawls out of.
Well, no, it birthed it out, but the big one, the male, is protecting it because it's vulnerable.
That's what it was. What it was.
And like Elliot has like a breakdown later. He's like, yeah, it's a fucking bug, and it's like gigantic, and like at this proportion, like its fucking skin is like nearly impenetrable with weapons, like standard weapons, and like it can smell like really well.
It's kind of like a metal beast, honestly.
Well,
bug version,
blue monkey beast.
Well, true.
Yeah,
Project Blue Monkey.
Yeah, there was something else. I can't remember he says, but
it's
interesting that he's like throwing all these plots out there.
He does the stereotypical, guy who wants to, it's a, one of a kind creature, let's capture it alive thing. Again, goes in a direction you may not expect it would. But...
Well, he wants to capture it because it's not for study necessarily, but to make the vaccine for the virus that's the bacteria
spreading throughout this hospital. Yeah.
So like that's why he wants to capture it, not to just be like, not just because he's a crazy fuck.
Exactly, and I like that. It's a different spin on that trope.
He also has an opportunity to study it, and he's satisfied. And he's like, I'm gonna write a fucking paper about this at the end.
And John Vernon, because Duane Barry, he wants to get fucking. He's like, you got any butane tanks? We gotta blow this thing up. And John Vernon's like, we're not blowing this fucking thing up. And he's like, you want to get out of this alive, or you want to like keep this hospital in shape?
Yeah.
He's like, do whatever the hell you need to do.
Just real quick, we didn't mention, but like there are these giant sacks hanging from the wall. You think they're egg sacks at first.
Right. These poor people.
You get this like glimpse of like a human shape. You're like, wait, what the fuck was that? And then later you see the male bug and the female bug in the back. And that's the other thing. Elliot goes, when these things hatch, they're going to be attached to these human hosts and literally feast on the human host for like 7 days while you're still alive.
And it's going to be excruciatingly painful.
Yeah. So in these big sacks are these fucking people in the sacks.
It's Alice and her boyfriend.
Yeah, it's Alice and her boyfriend.
That's what you get for fucking having a joint and a fuck at work, I guess.
That's what you get for not keeping a lid on the fucking bug.
Well, that's actually what it is. Yeah. These kids basically got these two people killed.
It's a little Joey's fault, is what it is.
It kind of is, but he doesn't know any better.
And kind of Tyrone's, because he hits the bottle and all the shit falls.
There's no movie without it.
Yeah, I know, sure.
So then, speaking of the kids, they basically go to Joey and they're like, hey, you know how to get to this area through the maintenance tunnel.
Well, the kids are exploring, and then when all that panic happens, they end up like helping Jim's partner and shit, like get everybody to a safe spot because the bug is coming. So they're down in the tunnels, and they're looking for them because they have a plan. They're going to drive the big one into the male into the morgue, and then they're going to kill the female, because if she lays her eggs, those eggs will be full grown in days.
Well, that's their guess, at least.
Yeah, but he estimates that like there'll be like 1 million in like less than a year.
This is like
that's
some
how
deadly
fast.
spawn.
Yeah, like
shit.
how fast they'll reproduce. Well, they're bugs.
Yeah,
gigantic bugs, but still bugs.
Mm-hmm. We also do, while this is all happening, Dr. Glass is like, all right, someone's got to work on these infected people, and there's kind of this inferred. I don't know if it's something like John Vernon cares about her just because like it's like he's friends with her or they have like some kind of relationship, but he's like, no, don't go in there. I can't let you go in there. And she's like, someone has to help these fucking people. And then he's like, fine, do it. Just be as careful as possible. And so she's in there helping the people. And, that's more relevant a little later, but.
Well, she stays behind basically.
Yeah.
To help the people that, are still sick from this thing. And fucking let's just talk about it now.
Okay, yeah.
Dee and fucking Marwala come in and they're fucking shit hammered and they're like, can we help you do the thing? And she's like, wait, why are you guys not sick? And she's like, alcohol.
Right, she figures it out.
Yeah.
Alcohol stops the incubation.
Or whatever, or slows the spread of it through your system or some shit like that. Yeah,
because you would think Marwella was the closest person next to this Fred character from the beginning.
Well, yeah.
And she's showing zero symptoms. Meanwhile, the EMS guy and all these people that came in after her are like in the bed dying.
Judy doesn't have symptoms really either. I mean, she kind of starts to have it, but then it just kind of fucks off.
I mean, let's be totally fair. Some of this is for plot convenience, but I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect the my enjoyment of the film.
So they go to kill this fucking thing. And then Joey helps them like go down there and like find where they're at.
There's some good tension here because it's
so good.
Like from an audience member standpoint, like they split and Joey takes I keep calling fucking Duane Barry, Jim. one way, and then Elliot and Dr. Klingon go the other way.
Yeah, because they're trying to lure the big one into the morgue, and then Jim's gonna kill the female.
Yeah. But Jim, basically is taken to where he needs to go by Joey, and he's like, "All right, Joey, run back, get safe, go hide."
Yeah.
But they linger on Joey, so as an audience member, you're like, "Ah, fuck." But Jim has no idea.
Yeah.
And I love these shots of Jim running down this like long corridor.
Man, it's just shot awesome. It's lit really well. It's so fucking cool and moody and gross and scary.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
So he gets in there, and I think Elliot and the doc, they get the male out of there.
They find the male and the female, and this is where you get that thing of the people in the sacks, and you really see what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
And Elliot's like, oh shit, they already hatched, and these fucking things are already eating these people, and you hear him like,
kill me,
yeah, kill me. So they get the male's attention. He runs off, and fucking Jim nukes the mama and all the eggs and shit with like a fucking flare and like an oxygen tank. Blows the shit out. A butane tank, excuse me. Blows the shit out of it.
And this fucking male's like they go behind like basically just a metal gate and are getting swung at, and
that's where they used to keep the patients.
Yeah.
In the mental hospital.
So then it hears its mate screaming as it's dying, and it runs off. Well, you're thinking, Jim's fucked.
This thing goes after Jim and starts chasing him through this labyrinth of fucking hallways.
Yeah, I felt like Hellraiser 2 a little bit.
Oh, maybe that thing's hanging from the ceiling?
Yeah.
Running around? Yeah,
the doctor's about to show up and take out all the fucking hell priests.
Dr. Chenard?
Yeah. But he makes back to the way he came, and that's where he's like, Joey, what the hell? You're down here still? He's like, I wanted to see the blue monkey.
Sorry. Yeah. The blue monkey that I was dreaming about. So yeah, he comes upstairs, and now they're in the hospital. This fucking thing has followed him up the stairs.
Dude, this thing's like Norm. It's coming through the floor.
Oh man. And we have this another great panic scene with all the people in the hospital because they're like, get the fuck out of here, go into your rooms and whatever. This thing comes up and fucking grabs this dude and picks him up and just tears his fucking head off, like straight up.
Poor bastard.
It was awesome.
Was it here for a head cold?
Yeah. There's not that much gore in this, but when we get to it, it's like, that was awesome.
Yeah. And then this thing's just basically going through the hospital.
Yeah.
It's got a vendetta to go after the people that killed its mate and babies, but it's just anyone that gets in its way is fucking dinner.
He has like a fucking fist fight with Jim at one point. He's like fighting this thing, he's just throwing him around.
God.
And then Elliot figures out to play the mate's call.
Right.
And then they lure it into the fucking laser room. Now they're fighting with this giant fucking bug in this laser room. And Dr. Klingon fucking figures out to turn on the laser and is shooting the shit out of this thing. And for whatever reason, she stops and falls because I guess Jim has to be the hero.
I kind of hated that.
I thought that sucked too, man. Like she should have just fucking nuked this thing.
That's probably the biggest complaint I have about this movie. Yeah. Like it doesn't ruin it.
No, but it's kind of like
you couldn't give that to her.
Come on, she was a tough lady the whole time.
Yeah,
like why?
He had his moment. He blew the fucking maid up.
Yeah, exactly. So he ends up shooting this thing in the eye, and it like blows its fucking eye off. But
it looks cool.
It's cool, but like there's this whole scene of this thing thrashing around this laser room, knocking all this shit down, and then
it was cool.
The way this thing dies is it's like super slow, and it falls on this big like I don't even know what like canister thing, and all the shit around it starts blowing up, and it just has this like slow death. And they watch it die. It's kind
of fucked up, honestly.
It's they even feel bad for it. Like the look on their faces. I don't know.
Well, because it's that thing where it's like they had to kill this thing because if they don't, like you said, there's gonna be a million of these things running around, and then the entire human race is fucked.
Yeah,
but it's again like it's just this is what it would naturally do. It's just protecting its mate. Getting, for lack of a better term, revenge for what happened. I'm sure, I don't know, like, if that makes sense from a nature standpoint, but you get what I'm saying.
Well, it's a wonder of nature for sure.
So it's like, it is definitely a situation, which we see a lot in these monster movies, these one-of-the-kind monsters, that it's like, wow, we had to do what we had to do, but damn, it's sad that we had to do what we had to do.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, I forgot. The maintenance guy when they first get in the laser room and they lower the bug in there, this fucking guy shows up out of nowhere. He is like, I got the pizza guy. He comes in.
From Punisher?
Yeah, he's in a fucking like HVAC suit or whatever, or like the radiation suit, and he's like, "Hey, is there anybody still left in here?" And this fucking bug turns around and just picks him up and rips him apart. And there's fucking limbs and intestines and shit all over the place.
It's definitely one of those like, let's get one more kill in, but I'm okay with it because it's so cool.
No, it's pretty great, but it's just like, hey, anybody? He's the hey, anybody in here guy.
Yeah, imagine being that poor bastard trying to save some more lives.
Instead of getting punched by Lou Gossett Jr., you get fucking ripped apart by a fucking bug monster.
Fucked up.
So now, here's where it ends. Now, it's a little rushed for me because it's nice that everybody makes it out and all that kind of stuff. Like the George and Sandra have their baby.
Right.
And little Joey now has a friend because Jim the detective, because he doesn't have a family. We didn't mention they like dropped him off there.
They just abandoned him. What the fuck?
So Jim's going to make a point to come see him every day or when he can.
And his partner's okay. He survived the surgery.
He wakes up, he's like, hey, Jim, thanks.
What was all that bug shit I kept hearing about?
What was going on? I heard an explosion.
That was weird.
We just totally forget about the quarantine. We totally forget about blowing the fucking building up. And like,
that's what I'm saying. What if like they beat the bug, but the 2 hours went by and the missile hits the fucking place and they all die?
The 2 hours are over. And like, what do? You go out and say, oh, we killed the bug and we have the cure, or we're going to synthesize a cure or something, you know?
I guess.
Does everybody just grab a fucking handle of Jack Daniels and fucking suck it down and they're better?
I guess so.
I don't know.
Even the babies.
We just wrap it up because fucking Jim's like, how about you come over for a nice quiet breakfast? I'll make you the best Western omelet you ever had. And she's like, maybe some other time.
Yeah. Like,
well, see ya.
Let's work up to it. It's like, okay. I mean, hey, it's her prerogative, but he did just... Well, he stole her thunder, Joe. Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah, right? You know, I could have killed that fucking bug with the laser, but you did it.
He just gave me like an extra second. But yeah, it does just kind of end.
Well, this is like one of my favorite parts of the movie is the very end, because we have this great Steadicam shot that's like flying through all of the
Evil Dead ass shot.
Yeah, it's like flying through all of the hallways and shit underneath the hospital. And of course, you know, we get our ticks ending or our critters ending, where we come up and we see the one egg. You know,
yeah, the quote unquote insect egg.
Yeah. And then it cuts.
Yeah,
and then it ends.
I don't mind that, actually. You get that little tease. Those are fun for the most part.
Oh, yeah, big time. I mean, I just had a lot of fun with it. So, where are we putting this?
Oh, this is shelf easy. As much as I'm poking fun about the alien references, again, I feel like I said it more times than I can count. I'm just poking fun, but
yeah, no, sure, man.
This is a really good movie, and I hope after hearing us talk about it, you go check it out, because you won't be disappointed. The acting's really good in this. The cameos are hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, I love the Joe Flattery cameo as just this wacko Mr. Database. He's got a fucking Excel spreadsheet for his wife's fucking trimesters. And just like minus, you know, a couple little things that we talk about, like the laser and you know, honestly, some of the alien stuff that, again, I'm connecting dots that really just are there to connect, just to connect. But
sure.
You know, that's like minor ass shit, honestly, at the end of the day. And you know, love to see Mickey Rooney in a movie. Kidding.
R.I.P. Billy Barty.
Yeah.
Stretched out Billy Barty.
Trying to think what else I can really say that I didn't already say. Like we talked about, the effects are amazing in this, mm-hmm. and like you had mentioned, a lot of these people had at the time or went on to do really amazing films.
For sure.
It's just a really fun, and honestly, like, suspenseful monster movie that 100%. Has a fairly original idea. I mean, obviously, there's other bug movies, like you mentioned a couple just now, Ticks and everything, but those are
Mimic is another one, but they don't come out till way after this.
Well, and it's not giant, you know, human-sized or, you know, werewolf-sized monster.
Is it a giant bug or kind of a big bug?
I would say this is a giant bug.
Okay.
This is not something you could hold in your hands.
Right.
Threw me for a loop with that one. We haven't had made that joke in a hot minute. Of unknown origin, for those unsure. But yeah, there's just a lot to like about this movie and very little not to like. So easily put this on the shelf. We'll watch it again when I pick up the Blu-ray.
Oh, yeah, man. This is 100% shelf. It has been since the first time I popped this in and fell in love with it. I mentioned that this film is an elevated monster movie in the beginning of this episode. What I mean by that is it's very Atomic Age, and it's elevated in an 80s way, a contemporary way.
I agree with that. I didn't even think about that, but that's a really good point, because sometimes we've done movies you have disagreed with me in the past, but that I don't think that has worked as well. Monster in the Closet always comes to mind.
Yeah, well, that's a little too on the nose.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying,
but you're right. Like, I'm picking up what you're putting down, Joe.
Yeah, because I've always said that, like, once we got to the 80s and we were doing things like The Thing and The Fly, and taking those atomic age movies and putting a new coat of paint on them, that was kind of that was a huge transition.
Oh yeah, the Blob.
And the Blob too. Yeah, how films were made. This is a nice love letter to those atomic age films, where it has that DNA of an atomic age flick, with like it's a giant monster and it's biologically morphed and here's all the sciencey bullshit, but like it has really great special effects, super dynamic cinematography, and just the tone and the way that it's presented makes it like a modern atomic age movie. And I think that's what I love so much about it. It has all the gross shit that I want from, like, 80s monster effects and stuff, but still has that kind of like, we have to stop the giant bug, and there's a quarantine and the military's here and all that kind of shit. You know what I mean? But you also get like your premarital sex and you're smoking weed and again, heads being ripped off and fucking blood spraying all over the place. And really, again, like, I can't emphasize enough like how well some of the shit is shot in this.
Oh, and the lighting
between the creature stuff and how the creature's presented, because you never see the lower half of it, which I think is really smart.
It doesn't take away at all, though. Like, I think it works.
No, I'm saying strategically the way they shot it, and like how there's always somebody in front of it or something in front of it, that really it just really works really well. And everybody's bringing it here. The fucking acting's really good. Nobody is phoning it in for this. Everybody is on top of the game, except for maybe Judith, because I read that actress was like a fucking notorious drunk. So she's kind of like woozy in a couple scenes, but everybody else is fucking top notch, man. It's such a fun time, and it's such a dense movie. Yeah. It's so packed full of shit that this is such a feat to pull off. You know what I mean? With especially writing something like this with all the characters and making everything make sense. With the exception of that kind of weak ending where they kind of abandoned some of the things they were doing and it kind of turned into something different. Other than that, that's my only big nitpick about this. Other than that, like, this is a fucking blast. So on the shelf 100%. Yeah. Definitely check it out. Definitely grab this Blu-ray. I want to say Josh the Weirdo, but I'm not entirely sure. He tagged us in a photo.
It was
Josh Weirdo, and he found it in the wild at a store, and I was like, holy shit! Yeah. By the way, we're doing that on the show.
You got a sneak peek.
So I picked up my copy specifically from Kino Lorber. I'm sure you can probably get it from Code Red. You can definitely get it from Kino, and wherever you can get it, definitely pick it up. It is a monster movie worthy of your shelf, especially this beautiful restoration of it. It's fucking great. It's a great disc and a great movie, so you can't go wrong.
I totally agree.
Yeah. But with that being said, Sean,
yeah,
we have some really fucking cool shit coming up. Folks, we are doing our first live in-person show at the Colonial Theater on July 16th, Saturday, July 16th. We are showing Ghoulies and The Gate in glorious 35mm film, and we'll be doing intercut, I wouldn't say skits, so it's not going to be your average show, right? We're not going to sit there and we're not going to talk over the movie, because that's fucking crazy.
People pay to come see it, and we're talking over The Gate.
Yeah, but that's a nice treat to get Ghoulies and The Gate in 35, so we want to enjoy it with you,
Agreed.
But in between the movies, we'll do introductions, and then we'll do stuff in between each movie and stuff. We're gonna have contests. We're gonna have giveaways. We might have some celebrity guest stuff happening. We're not sure yet. Don't hold us to it. But we're gonna have a lot of fun stuff, interactive stuff to do on stage with the audience and stuff. We're gonna have a really good time. And it's at the awesome Colonial Theater, the historic Colonial Theater, where they shot The Blob
in Phoenixville,
Pennsylvania. So grab your tickets now. There's a link down there. If you're watching this on YouTube, if you're not watching this and listening, check out your fucking app, because it's in the show notes. Click that baby and get those tickets now.
We also have the week after the airing of this, we're doing a big Predator crossover with Tony from Hack the Movies.
Man, so Tony's doing Predator.
Yes.
We're doing Predator 2 with Tony.
Finally. Scorpio is here!
Scorpio is ready! And I'm also going to be on a episode of Peg Warmers talking about the Kenner Predator figure line, which I'm very excited to talk about.
I saw them in the other part of the dungeon before I sat down, and you got quite a few, Joe.
Yeah, so that's going to be a lot of fun. And then our guest that we just had on for Theodore Rex. If you haven't checked out our Theodore Rex episode, go check it out with Clayton Fioriti.
Where we took over Tony from Hack the Movies video store.
We took over. It was the movie dumpster video for a little while. We took over Hack the Movies, and
Clayton Fioriti, our guest.
Clayton Fioriti is doing an episode with Tony on Predators.
Yes.
So you're getting the fucking whole shebang there. You're getting Predator. You're getting the Peg Warmers episode about the Kenner Predator figures. You're getting Predator 2 with us and Tony. And then you're getting Predators with Clayton and Tony. So it's going to be a packed Predator month. Get to the motherfucking chopper, baby, because it's going down.
You beat me to that one. You knew that was coming, the chopper line.
Yeah. You never see the eyes of the demon till they come a-calling.
We got some other stuff planned for June, but
we got an Alien Private Eye commentary track coming out. You can kind of jump on that too. Go over to Vinegar Syndrome and buy Alien Private Eye on Blu-ray, and our commentary track's not on the disc. It's going to be on our Patreon, so you'll need the disc to use the commentary track.
And then, we got some more stuff coming in June that we may have already talked about on other things, but check out that live show that we do at the end of the month. I don't know if it's going to be Memorial Day weekend or the week after, but there'll be a post about it, so stay tuned.
And don't forget to check out that Doctor Strange Ripe review, too, if you haven't checked that out. That was a lot of fun. Doctor Strange 1978. That was a hell of a trip.
Yeah. Another movie I didn't know existed until you called me and said, hey, we should cover this.
Not sure if there's any of those Shout Factory Blu-ray copies left, but if you can grab it, definitely go grab it.
And as always, do us a solid. If you're watching this on YouTube, like the video. And if you're not subscribed, hit that button, please. And of course, share the video. Share the podcast if you're listening to the audio version. Give us those 5 stars. And if you got a minute, write us a review. All that stuff helps spread the word on the show, get us out of the bottom of the dumpster, into more eardrums, eyeballs. Again, still don't know the new slogan on that. I'm just working it out.
I see you. We see you. We know you're listening. We know you're watching. So do us a favor, would you?
And if you want to go all in, check out that commentary track we were talking about. We got a ton of them on Patreon. Head over to patreon.com/moviedumpster. We got live watch-alongs that we do, like I said earlier, once a month. We do the commentary tracks, occasional mini-sode. We got one planned coming soon. All kinds of good stuff. $2 tier gets you mini-sodes. $5 and $10 tier gets you watch-alongs and commentary tracks. And you get a bunch of other little goodies.
You get a pin. You get a sticker pack.
A t-shirt.
Get a t-shirt on the $10 tier.
Yes. Yeah. So if you want to do that, we got a ton of content on there.
And as always, we just want to thank all of our patrons for being awesome and supporting the show and supporting us as people. Thank you very much. And we love you guys, and we love all you guys that are listening that need to hit that fucking like button and put a review up, would you please?
Yeah. And I just want to say, maybe I should mention this on an actual Talks episode, but I don't know about you, Joe, and Chris, if you're watching. The reception on Talks from the Dark Side has been really incredible lately, and I just wanted to say thank you, because it seems like people are really enjoying the show, and I kind of look forward to doing it every time that we sit down in here with Chris. So look forward to more of that.
Yeah, it's so much fun being able to share that with everybody and everybody be into it and be like, oh my God, I remember watching that on TV,
Yeah, and as of this episode of Blue Monkey, we're right at the tail end of the first season. So if you haven't been watching, we got a lot on there for you to go back and check out.
Yeah, you got nearly the whole first season. Yeah. So once we wrap up the first season, we're going to be doing some other special stuff, and we'll be going into the second season.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be a good time. So stay tuned for that. It's gonna be great. And, yeah. So that's it. That's Blue Monkey from 1987, directed by William Fruitt. I'm Joel Escola.
And I'm Sean O'Rourke.
Thanks for visiting the dumpster.